It's the Bobcat. Wow, there's definitely some kind of city on top of the goddess. What is that thing? It's huge. Ridiculously huge. That thing must be more than 5,000 arg across. It's like a giant floating island. No, look closely, the base is artificial. It's more a floating city than an island. City? Well, we can't just sit here. Alright guys, listen up. We are getting onto that flying city island. What? Seriously? Of course I'm serious. I've never been more serious. If those society fools have brought that thing back, then think. It must be full of incredible treasure. Enough to pay our debts 10 times over. You've got to be kidding me. We can't just go waltzing onto something that huge. Josette, back me up here. Honestly, at this point, I bet there are things on that city I want too. Like, beyond treasure. Oh, Adios, save me. Kyle does have a point though. Things have been weird all day, so we should probably be careful. I mean, for starters, the radio has been silent for ages. That is true. Guild and army transmissions are one thing, but even the civilian channels are dead, which is... Huh? What? A wave of light? Gah! What happened? Report. Boss, big problem. The generators and flight engines have cut out. All of them. What? Wait, that means... We're really in trouble now. The flight field from the engines is dissipating. The Bobcat's not answering her helm at all either. You're kidding. You mean we can't do anything? There's only one thing we can do at this point. What? Pray to Adios that it's not our time to be called to heaven. Oh, crud! Chapter 8. Land of Chaos. City of Ruon. Zeiss Central Factory. Milch Main Road. Valeria Lake. So that's what the light show at the towers was about. But you kids pulled off a genuine miracle this time. Let me give you your reward first. Adios knows you've earned it. Well, 10,000 Mira. Alrighty, and if you've completed everything so far, you should be at 290 BP. Still, what madness we've fallen into. Never thought being deprived of orbments would throw us into this much chaos. No kidding. Sorta makes you realize just how dependent we've become on orbal power. It's true. Communication, transportation, defense, production. Every single major function of society is effectively paralyzed at this point. For most people, I think the real worry will be the lights in the kitchen. From the sounds of it, the city was really in a tizzy last night. That's being kind about it. People were mobbing the guild house, the Orbal workshop, the mayor's mansion, all demanding answers. It was awful. Everyone wanted to know what had happened and I had no answers to give. Frenzied fools practically kept me up all night. Ugh. I see. Sorry, Legrand. With the floating city on top of all this crud's getting dire. Feels like we're one step away from a friggin' panic. Well, the people of LaBelle love peace, so I do not personally expect a riot immediately. Should the situation continue for too long, however, people may begin to lose hope. Yes, we must do something about this and quickly. So then everyone, What's this plan you said Russell has to bring back the dead, turn water to ambrosia and save us all? Bring back the dead? Well... Professor Russell came up with a new invention that isn't too far off. This, everyone, is my latest invention. The Zero Field Generator. Zero Field... what now? Put simply, you are aware of the special warp field the Gospels produce, yes? This is a circuit which produces a field to nullify that warp via resonance that does not qualify as simple under any definition. If I understand correctly then, Professor, this can actually reverse the orbal shutdown phenomenon? Whoa, what? Is that true, Professor? Prevent it, more specifically, but just so. Ultimately, the shutdown phenomenon is just orbal energy being absorbed by the Gospels. Where the energy went was a mystery, but having come this far, I think we finally have an answer. To the floating city, to the Aureole. It is the only answer which makes sense. The Aureole uses the little hole between dimensions generated by devices which we call Gospels to cause the phenomenon. Gospels are, all things considered, small holes, so the area affected was thankfully minor. With the Aureole made manifest once again, however, that area has grown immensely. Enough to engulf the entirety of La Belle and even beyond our borders, I'd imagine. All of La Belle? So that's what's causing all this. Yes, I find it likely that every orbment in the country without exception has stopped working. However, this zero field generator can stop the interference of the Aureole, which is to say, put it next to an orbment and that orbment will work just fine. Wow. Professor, that's amazing. So we fire that thing up and everything's cool then? Not quite, I'm afraid. The area this prototype can protect is limited. It can shield at most an orbment you could carry in 2 hands. That's small? Aww. Well, heck, that kinda limits what we can do, doesn't it? The other problem is, I only have so many of them. Even as a favour for Cassius, I could only put 16 of them together. 16? That's actually a lot, if anything. Wait, Dad asked you for these? Yes, he requested that I work on these a while back, actually. I scarcely even imagined a crisis on this scale at the time, but it seems he did. I see. Just as I'd expect from Cassius, always seeing further than any other man. That being the case, though, pretty clear how we should use these things, I think. Ah, you're a sharp one, Father. I don't quite follow. So in a crisis like this, the thing you need more than anything else is fast, accurate communication. Whether it's about the society throwing bears at people, or where goods need to be taken, if you can't communicate, you're up a creek. Meaning, they should be used to restore communication devices all over La Belle. Is that about the size of it? Bingo! That is a good idea. For the military, not being able to use our guns or airship is dire. Not having communications between headquarters and our forces is even more serious, however. We should restore communications between Gransel Castle, Paharkin Gate, and Leiston Fortress ASAP. The guild's in the same boat in a way. If the branches can't get in touch, it'll be hard to mount any response to anything that might happen. Sounds as if we're all in agreement then. Well then, Captain Schwartz, I'll provide 10 zero-field generators to the Royal Army. That should give you enough to cover the Arcelle, the capital, the gate, Leiston, and all regional posts. You have my thanks, Professor. I'll order my men to distribute them immediately. And the remaining 6 go to the Bracer Guild. That should be enough to restore the phone in each guild branch. We'll get right on it. We'll see them safely there. What? You can get the phone working? That would be a great help. Please, set up that zero, whatever it was, right away. No problem. Taita, would you do the honours? Sure, give me just a second. Taita opened the lid to the phone and put the ZFG inside. Okay. Done, it's all set to go. That was, kind of faster than I thought it'd be. All you really need to do is put it in the right spot inside the phone. Okay, now for the moment of truth. Taita flipped the switch on the phone. Oh, you did it! Nice, looks like it really does let orbital devices work. So next I need to test to see if the phone will actually connect. I'll try calling Grandpa, he's on the RCell which should have a working phone. Taita dialed in a phone number. Hello? Ah, Grandpa! Yeah, it's me. I'm at the guild house in Bose right now. Yeah, it's okay. It works great. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, I will. You do your best too, Grandpa. I think it's connecting okay. No kidding. Professor Russell saved us again, it seems. I'll have to drown Russell in beer and steak next time I see him. Speaking of thanks, Russell seems to be aboard the RCell still, but where did the princess and that churchman go off to? Oh, they both headed to Gransel at dawn with Captain Schwartz. Chloe said she wanted to talk to the Queen, and Kevin said something about the Archbishop, I think. I see. I imagine the royal family and the church have their own crises to deal with right now. The good news is they agreed to deliver a zero-field generator to the Capital Guild House for us. I would expect to get a call from Elnan at some point. Excellent. Coordinating with him will help. You lot are off to the remaining guild houses, I take it? Yep, that's the plan. What I'd really like to deal with is that floating city, but wouldn't we all? It seems like our society friends are already there too. We can't lay a darn finger on them with our airships grounded. Pfft, real heroic spot to be in, huh? There's little point in flogging ourselves over it. Right now we must focus on what can be done. Yeah. Yes, let's get to it. Please form your party. Okay, so I think with this party we're probably going to be going with Zin and I think Shera. But Taita has some gear we want to take off her first. Okay, obviously airship travel is right out for this, so we'll be walking. Where should we go first, Roland or Ruan? Neither choice is better than the other really. All of the guild houses need working phones, so all we can do is pick a direction and go. Good point. Joshua has the right of it, I think. No matter where we go, people are likely to need our help regardless. I hope we can help all the people in trouble. Yeah, okay then. During the shutdown phenomenon, only characters equipped with a zero-field generator can use orbital arts. Equip a generator in the accessory slot to use it. Furthermore, as Taita uses an orbital cannon, she cannot act in any way other than movement or her gunpowder-powered cannon impulse S-craft without a generator. Quite realistic if you think about it. Okay, so we've got some monster quests we can do, and I'm going to go ahead and change everyone's gear around. Alrighty, and we are back. So here's our setup for Estelle, Joshua, Zin, and Sherazade. And don't forget as well, nobody can use the arts unless they have one of the zero-field generators equipped. And as you go to each of the areas, you will lose one of the zero-field generators. So I've got Estelle and Sherazade set up as our casters / healers, and our physical attackers are going to be Zin and Joshua. And hopefully you were paying attention when I went through the equipment screen there, but just feel free to to pause the video back where they were again if you need a recap. I'll leave distributing Russell's generators to you. Remember, one each to the Roland, Ruan, and Zeiss branches. Be careful, you lot. Let's do some exploring and speak with everyone. May Bell has been running herself ragged trying to address every little thing with the town. Yet she still somehow manages to keep popping her head back here between meetings to make sure things are running smoothly. I tell her time and time again not to worry about the restaurant, but she won't hear a word of it, of course. She's so much like her father in that respect, always pushing herself too hard for her own good. All the commotion was terrifying. If not for May Bell, we would have had riots on our hands. It's times like these when people need to be at their best and work together, not behave like that. I hope to never see such shameful behaviour ever again. We were in the restaurant when the riots erupted in the city. A lot of people were gathered in front of the guild and they spent all night yelling at each other. The restaurant was pitch black too, so I couldn't tell what was going on at all. You wouldn't believe how scared I was. Oh, hello. Seems like the world's in a rough spot, but my business is going quite well. While the major suppliers are having trouble distributing, I'll be taking the opportunity to expand my markets. Working without Orbital cooking tools is no big deal. You aren't a real chef if you need some fancy equipment to whip up a decent meal. I was in the wine cellar when the augments all stopped. Thanks to that, I ended up having to find my way out by hand in total darkness. I was covered head to toe in dust by the time I got out. What awful timing. The Orbital stove's not working. The head chef's waving it off like it's no big deal, but to me it's a huge, huge deal. I've got to learn how to work an old-fashioned stove, and fast. I thought it was just my augments that were broken. One look around the city, however, and it was plain to see the problem extended far beyond myself. Whatever shall we do? I'm looking for a good part-time position, but, seems like this really isn't the time for it. Last night was scary. People were yelling at each other late into the night. This is when we need to come together too. I've come for the first time in a while to offer prayers to the goddess. Somehow my feet just didn't lead me to the market. I can't find it in me to enjoy shopping at a time like this. To think simply having augments fail could cause so much chaos. As we who possess faith in the goddess, we should be ashamed. To rely on something like augments so heavily is a sign of great weakness. Faith in the goddess should be more than enough. I hope that people take this as an epiphany of sorts and come to their senses. No, indeed, it was quite the terrible time last night. The troubled citizens burst into the guild and Mayor's house alike and spent the entire night making quite the fuss. Mayor Maybell's powers of persuasion thankfully averted further turmoil, but I've come to realise anew the immense effect augments have on our lives. Okay, what other places do we have to go to? Huh? What's going on? Why are all these people looking up at? I see. So that's it. Huh? The floating city? It's so huge. It's overwhelming seeing it from down here. I can rather empathize with the panic of the citizens. Our abilities as braces are about to be tested as never before. What can we actually do might be limited, but let's do everything we can. Yes, let's hurry. From here you can clearly see that island floating in the sky. The moment it appeared, the lights all across the city went out. Just as we were recovering from the dragon's assault too. What will happen to our Bose, I wonder? I mean, what is that? And why have all the augments stopped working? Oh, what's going on? I don't understand. That huge thing in the sky is so scary. Was the dragon just the start of things? This is kinda crazy. What should I do? Okay, let's head into the market. Okay, so who are we talking to first? Thanks to the trouble recently, my stock's not come in. My store's opening has to be heavily delayed as a result. Of course, this isn't the time for excuses like those. Orbits are all stopped. Man, talk about one to send you into the dumps. All the lights at my house are out and my daughter's crying her eyes out. After all, orbits are an expected part of life for her. It was a shock when I realized we couldn't use them. I need to check these stores as well. Making castella cake takes fresh eggs and milk. We can't skimp if you want the best. If I continue to be unable to get stock in, I won't be able to keep this stand running. What am I supposed to do? Even the fountain's tired. I wonder what happened. The lady who runs the confectionery shop doesn't seem to have her normal energy. Well, given the situation we're in, I think that's true of everyone, but still, what's that darn fiancé of hers doing? It's the job of a spouse to support the other at a time like this, ain't it? Geez, maybe I should go lecture him while I do my shopping. I don't care if distribution's stopped or whatnot, I'll be opening the shop just like always. It's at times like this you gotta give people some courage. If it's come down to this, then maybe I should sell that new issue I've been keeping safe. Well, sell it, I want the new issue. Hey, welcome. Minuet's well, but the whole market's a bit down in the dumps. After all, just as everyone's recovered now, distribution's totally frozen. It's not surprising they'd get depressed. The market's really lost all its energy. I guess everyone is really worried about the future. Darn it, I really wish I could help people at times like these especially, but no one really knows why the doors or the fountain have stopped working, it sounds like. What the heck is going on in this city? It seems like orbments have stopped working all over town. The register at our stores stopped working too. Dad's off at the factory getting it repaired. With orbments not working, we won't be able to defend the kingdom. I can't help but feel anxious. Hopefully the Empire keeps to the non-aggression pact, but all distribution throughout the kingdom's gone kaput, it seems. I have enough stock for the moment, but if I can't restock, then sooner or later shortages will come. This is quite grave. With scheduled flights and transport stopped, things are really serious. Anyway, I'd better go shopping and stock up while the stores still have stock. With the orbments stopped, lights and heating are all unusable. Once I'm done shopping for foodstuffs, I need to go look at sundries. What should I do? No goods are coming in. Honestly, I probably ought to be considering raising prices here, but once before we took advantage of the situation to raise prices and ended up causing a lot of trouble for everyone. I can't really raise my prices so easily these days. I need to talk to Buck and figure out a good plan. Unbelievable, it's not just the scheduled liners, but the freight trucks and ships have stopped. All distribution's totally paralysed. At this rate, we're gonna hit shortages real fast. My product's life is at its freshness. This is a serious problem. Oh, everyone's suffering right now, that's for sure. See how everyone at the port is doing. Oh dear, I didn't think we'd be stopping here. My child is with me too, how am I to get home? Hey, what's wrong with the ship? Why isn't it going? Apparently it's some kind of engine fault with a cause that they can't determine. I've used these ships for years and this is the first time I've ever seen something like this. Scheduled flights are cancelled. It's not a surprise, I suppose, with orbments the way they are. Still quite an issue. Shipping will be impossible for the moment. I'll have to look for a buyer locally somehow. How long are they going to keep us waiting here? I need to hurry to Rouen. The scheduled flights aren't running? Darn it all, just as I get off work too. Our ship was stopped and docked before it could even take its first morning flight. There's some kind of severe problem, so we can't take off. None of the passengers were injured, thank Adios. If this had happened after we took off, it really would have been a crisis. Man, there's a bunch of customers here who don't have any place to go now that they're stuck here. We're trying to pull together some lodging for them, but you can imagine how much of a mess that this is right now. I'm going over the Cecilia's engines just in case. If she's been knocked out by the same thing that's gotten to the rest of the orbments, I'd like to know what the internals look like. Gonna take a good close look inside and figure out what happened when it stopped. The engine not functioning gives us more problems than simply getting airborne. Heck, we had to operate the ramp via hand crank. I do wish our passengers understood the theory behind orbital engines a wee bit more. Yeah, they're all kind of getting irritated even though nothing is working. The goods I ordered were supposed to arrive today. Who would have guessed flights would be cancelled? Well, that's a fork stuck in it. I'll have to find replacement stock from somewhere. His name was Forklift. Who names the child Forklift? It's not just the Cecilia, the guidance lights and ground equipment aren't working either. We've had our share of trouble before, but I've never seen anything like this. I wonder if this is all because of that strange event last night. Our owner's acting like the riot's something other people did, but he's one of the people who barged into the mayoral residence too. He's sort of excluding himself from that little mess and trying to put on airs, but certainly it's hard on us not being able to use orbments, but that doesn't make it okay to riot. I'm embarrassed as a fellow Bose citizen. She's called you out on that one, my friend. Oh, hey there, you're braces, aren't you? I've seen you on the Cecilia a few times. Sorry for our ship being out of commission. Doesn't look like we can leave port, so I'm just getting some grub. Welcome to the Freedom Hotel. Orbital devices may not be functioning, but our hotel is still open for business. I'm sure there will be some inconveniences, but please, enjoy your time here. My orbital camera stopped working, and here I took lots of cool shots of the Harkin Gate too. Man, this sucks. I hope I can get them printed soon. I really want to see them. I came to Bose to see the Harkin Gate, but I didn't expect this to happen at my destination. Anyway, I hope things get back to normal soon. Oh fuck, no matter how much time I spend, this is going nowhere. You can't clean without a vacuum cleaner. It'd be like trying to make an omelette without a frying pan. Ever heard of a broom and a trash bag? Oh, bracer friends. At the moment we in Bose are facing a terrible danger. Please, give any aid you can to May Bell and our city. That riot last night was terrifying. So many people storming into the mansion. They all looked and sounded so furious, as though they were going to tear the place down. But May Bell is truly amazing, calming a mob as she did. Thank you for the other day. Miss Maybell is currently as busy as humanly possible. Please, if you can aid her in some way, I would ask you do so. Hello again, Estelle, and oh, hello, Joshua. Hi, May and Maybell. It's been a while. It has indeed. You two look busy again. No kidding, I heard it's been really hard on you too, though. Legrand was telling us about it. I was a little worried when I heard some citizens broke in. Yes, I had to spend the better part of the evening talking them down, and even then I only barely got them to return home. I didn't really do anything to actually assuage their fears, though. I couldn't. Even I'm half scared out of my wits. If this keeps up, I'm afraid there will be another uprising, a much more violent one. It could happen, yes. So long as the real problem remains unresolved, people will be on edge and looking for someone to blame. Right now, though, we just need to do what we can. Staring at the floor and fretting won't solve anything. Yes, exactly. No matter what may come, we will do our duty as bracers. feel pretty much the same way about being a mayor. No matter how dark and hopeless the situation may seem, a mayor must remain with her city and protect it. Of course, I believe you will resolve things in the end, mind. Ah, well, no pressure there. We'll take those as words of encouragement. Okay, looks like we've almost finished speaking with everybody here. We're going to go in the South District. See how everyone's getting on here. Oh, Simon, you need something from the workshop too? Yeah, Murano told me to stop by. Dad asked me to come too. Guess everyone's kind of losing it, huh? Everyone's being hit hard by this, whatever the heck it is. Even Trino spent the night turning his house upside down looking for lamps. My family was freaking out last night, let me tell you. I can understand why the factory is so chaotic right now. You can't repair it? What's that supposed to mean? This is just some kind of trick to sell me something new, isn't it? Those two at the counter are being completely unreasonable. I feel really bad for the store owner. Talk about a bed of needles. Enough talking, hurry up and fix it. I have fishing to get to. Stop yammering and do something. Oh, welcome. I'm sorry you've come all this way, but we're currently not taking any business. None of our equipment is working, you see. Oh, right. Well, it's kind of a problem, isn't it? If we can't manufacture quartz or upgrade our slots, we're kind of in trouble. Yes, it would be something of a waste of our generators. True, but I wonder. Given the nature of our toys, I think the solution may be right in front of us. Really? We can use the factory? How? Well, can't we? Our ZFGs can restore operation to any orbital device after all. Right, of course. ZFG? What are you talking about? Let me explain. Joshua explained that by using the zero field generator, the factory's functionality could be temporarily restored. That's absolutely incredible. Please, by all means, I'd love to if it worked. Let's give it a shot then. Give me just a moment then. On activation, the zero field generator restored power to the factory's tools. The equipment's working. Awesome. That worked well for the moment. Unless we leave the ZFG here though, it won't fix the problem permanently, and given our mission, we'd better hurry then. So if you want to modify your orbments, now's your chance. That's good, we can at least do some upgrading. Because I want to go ahead and upgrade that on Sherazade. Probably would just be a good idea to try and make sure that everyone's at least got everything up to level 2. Okay, that'll be fine for now. Whenever you want to use the workshop, just bring that device of yours along. You'll be able to use our services like normal if you do. Perfect, so now I can go ahead and just do a cheeky little upgrade here for Sherazade. Customers have been pouring in since early this morning. Dealing with them is really Korn's job. My only job is to keep at my work. Even with orbments not functioning, I still have a mountain of things to do. I've only ever seen her looking at that orbment clock though. What does she actually do there? I didn't realise the lights had stopped working until night fell. I was panicking looking for a lamp, but it was hard to find. And Elk was bawling her eyes out because she was so afraid of the dark. I hope things return to normal soon. It was dark and scary last night, and the stove or nothing wouldn't turn on, so it was real cold too. Why aren't Orbeez working? Poor girl. Now next door they're busier than bees, but with my guns not working I've got nothing but free time. Good news is I have a full stock of non-orbital weapons for you bracer types. Take a look. Nothing which is an upgrade though. The orbments aren't working over at Trino's next door either, apparently. Seems like the problem is affecting the entire town. I thought it was just us and had Kawano go down to the Orbal workshop. It's not just the orbments in town, the scheduled flights are down too. Just as we made a deal with that Imperial too. Ido seems to enjoy terrible timing. Every orbment in the city seems to have stopped working all at once, and nobody has any idea why either. Though I can hardly condone it, I can understand why some people would be driven to riot. With all this strangeness in the city and all the trouble with the flights, I declare it's enough to unsettle anyone. We'll need to be careful or things might get really bad. To be completely incapable of using orbments is quite the problem. Orbal technology can honestly be called the lifeblood of our country. If it ceases to work, then that affects us on every imaginable level. I fear hard times await us ahead. All the orbments in our home have stopped working. I sent my son Alvil down to the factory, but I'm afraid this might not be the sort of problem that they can fix. Alrighty, and that's everyone in the Bose city that we have spoken to. Next episode, we're going to be travelling to the Valeria Lakeshore. There is a fish we can catch there, which will get us a master fishing license. This is also the last opportunity you're going to have to do all of the fishing achievements for catching fish and stuff. Once you've gotten the master fishing license. So yeah, and we'll also be climbing the Amberl Tower. There's a monster you can defeat at the top of there with an accessory. So yeah, thank you for watching everybody. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you know when the next episode's coming out. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye bye for now.